Good morning, boys and girls. It's Pastor Malcolm. Welcome to Preschool Chapel today. It's a joy for you to be here. Today is a very special day in the life of the church, and particularly on our calendar. Today is January 6th, and today we celebrate a very special event. But my friends, what is the first thing that we do when we come into chapel? That's right, we light the candles. Light one candle. We pause, and then we light a second candle. Very good. And after we light the candle, what is the next thing that we do? Do we get really loud? No, we don't. We kind of get a little bit calm, and we take a moment, and we put our hands together, and we say a prayer. So, would you join me with a prayer? Just repeat after me. Dear God, thank you for this time. It is good to be together. Bless all those who love me and help me to be kind to all I meet. Amen. Amen. Very good, boys and girls. As I said, today is a very special day in the life of the church. You'll notice that I have something behind me right here on the altar table. Do you recognize this? Yes. This is what we would call our creche scene or our manger scene. And here we have baby Jesus laying in a manger, and there's his mother. His mother's name is Mary, and that's his stepfather. His name is Joseph. And here we have three kings. We also have a camel over here on the side. I've been standing in front of him, so you haven't been able to see him. But we are going to tell a story today because today is a very, very special day. As I said, in the life of the church, today is what we call Epiphany. Epiphany means aha. It's like, wow. It's like you didn't understand something, and then you had an epiphany, and suddenly it all made sense. And today we celebrate a story about the kings who had an epiphany. The kings are here. 1, 2, 3 kings. And we're going to read from God's storybook about how these kings, or Magi, came from a far-off land to come and visit Jesus. So, let's open up God's storybook. And what I'd like for you to do is to listen to the story. The story goes like this. Jesus was born in the town of Bethlehem, in the country of Judea. It was in the time that Herod was king in that part of the country. Soon after Jesus was born, some wise men learned of things from a star that came to Jerusalem from the east. They asked, "Where is the King of the Jews who has been born? We have seen his star in the east, and we have come to worship him." Now, when King Herod heard of this, he and all the people of Jerusalem were very worried. So he called together his religious leaders. Herod asked them, "Where is the Messiah to be born?" And they said to him, "In the town of Bethlehem, in the country of Judea." The early preacher wrote, "You, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are not the least of the leaders of Judah. Out of you will come a king who will lead my people." Then Herod had a secret meeting with men who learned of the things from the star. And he asked them about what time the star had been seen. And then he sent them to the town of Bethlehem and said, "Go and find the young child, and when you find him, let me know. Then I can go and worship him also." After the king had spoken, they went on their way. The star had been where they had seen it in the east, went before them. And it came and stopped over the place where the young child was. When they saw the star, they were filled with much joy. They went into the house, and they found the young child with Mary, his mother. And then they got down in front of him, and they worshiped him, and they opened up their bags of riches and gave him gifts of gold and perfume and spices. Then God spoke to them in a dream and told them not to go back to Herod. So they went back to their own country by another road. So you see, boys and girls, the story is told that There were these people from a very far off land who came to visit and see Jesus because they saw a sign. They saw a star up in the heaven. And so they followed that star, and when they arrived, they had to ask for directions. And then when they actually found the baby Jesus, they gave to him special gifts. Now some of you might wonder why we give gifts on Christmas. Because in actual fact, the gift giving really happens some 12 days after Christmas, on Epiphany in many countries. Countries like Latin American countries, or in Spain, they celebrate what they call Three Kings Day. And on that day, families give small gifts to one another in celebration and in remembering of the kings who gave gifts to the baby Jesus. And so we have three kings here. We don't know if there were three kings or maybe there were less, but we say it's three kings because in actual fact they gave three gifts. Gold, perfume, which was frankincense, and spices called myrrh. These are very, very expensive gifts to give to such a small child. But Jesus is king. And so they felt what they were giving to Jesus was very special. So today, January 6th, is Epiphany, or Three Kings Day, or an opportunity for you to give gifts to one another, maybe somebody in your family. But you're probably wondering, well, what gift can I give because I can't go to the store right now? You can give the gift of your time. You can give a hug to your mom or your dad and tell them that that's a gift from you. You can even color a picture and give that to somebody in your family, somebody special, to let them know that you love and that you care for them. Just as the three kings gave gifts to the baby Jesus, you can give small gifts to somebody else as well. Now I have another story I'd like to share with you, and this story comes from a book. I love this book. I read this book last year, and it's called Humphrey's First Christmas. Humphrey's First Christmas. And this is a story about a camel named Humphrey. I wonder if you can guess where we might be having a camel showing up in our story. So, here is the beginning of the story. Behold, most beauteous and exalted King of all, should be my name. Instead, they called me Humphrey. This I could bear, if the worst thing of all had not had happened. My dearest possession, my glorious carpet blanket, has been lost along the trail. Now I am never warm, and I suffer terribly. That is why I have set into motion a plan to replace the greatest of all treasures. I carefully nudged my nose inside the caravan of the master's tent. Can you see Humphrey nudging his nose inside of his master's tent? Look at him there. This was followed closely by the chattering of teeth, thereby letting my master know that I was enormously cold. Success. He has not pushed me out, and I remain hopeful that a new blanket will soon be mine. 3 rich caravans have joined us, and there has been talk of kings. Yet these kings bring me no joy, for they have tied 3 huge chests to my bare back. They are so heavy, I am sure each must be filled with rocks. Now, boys and girls, can you see Humphrey? Can you see those gifts on top, those chests? They're just little bitty chests. What do you suppose are inside the chest, boys and girls? The other camels are wearing the finest of blankets. They are all comfortable and warm. Not one of them thinks about me, their cousin, in pain and misery because of the loss of my most precious carpet blanket. I cry out in sorrow and I weep. Look at him. He's so dramatic, isn't he? Today, I continue my plan to regain my treasure blanket. I add a loud sniffling to the chattering of teeth. Squeeze my entire body inside my master's tent, and as I do so, out rolls my master, for the tent is exactly camel size. Oh my goodness, boys and girls, can you see Humphrey climbing into that tent? My goodness me. It is as I had planned. As the master chases me away, he tosses me a new blanket. I have success. Once more, I am covered with splendor and comfort. I am filled with delight. If it were not for the heavy chest that I were forced to carry, I would be very happy. See, Humphrey, he now has his blanket back. My goodness. We have followed one star for many long nights. Now our caravan enters a town of Bethlehem. Its streets and inns are crowded with travelers, and my master gives no thought to my tired feet or my rumbling belly as I am forced to move on. At last we reach the end of our journey, but I am confused. There is no great palace, no rich oasis, no palms heavy with fruit. I see only a low stable with a family inside. And the three kings rejoice, and they rush forward, and they bow before the young woman who cradles a baby. See, boys and girls? My goodness. Finally, the chests are taken off my back, and they're placed before this tiny child, and each box is open. I see no stones, only gold and frankincense and myrrh. See, they give the gifts to the baby. In this land, I have walked past many children, but never before have I felt as though I needed to walk towards one. Now I kneel before this baby, shivering in a manger. Watching him gladdens me more than sweet water, fresh hay, and even, wondrously, the new blanket that I have. I look to the baby's eyes, and I'm overwhelmed by love. I pull the treasure from my back, and I lay my gift carefully upon the child. He smiles, and my nose and whiskers tingle with joy, and I am happy to my toes, and even without my blanket, I feel warm. What do you see Humphrey do, boys and girls? That's right, see? See over here? He went ahead and he took his blanket off his back and he gave it to the baby, because the baby was cold and shivering. Behold, most beauteous and exalted King of all should be his name. Instead, Humphrey says, they called the baby, what did they call the baby, boys and girls? Do you remember? They called the baby Jesus. Now, isn't that a good story, boys and girls, about how Humphrey was, first of all, very cold and very worried, until finally Humphrey decided that when he saw the baby, he gave the baby his own blanket, and he felt still warm and tingly inside. I don't know if this Campbell is named Humphrey. He looks very regal, doesn't he? Well, boys and girls, I have a song that I'd like to teach you, and it's a song that you know. I'm sure you know this song, boys and girls. It goes a little bit like this. What was up in the sky at night? The star, that's right. And the song we're going to sing is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And we're going to think about the star that led the wise men, the kings, to the baby Jesus. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the sky so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Very good, boys and girls. You knew that song. I knew you did. Well, boys and girls, we lit the candles as we began, and we went ahead and we read from God's storybook, and then we went ahead and we even read from the story about Humphrey's first Christmas, and we even sang a song. Did we forget anything, boys and girls? Oh, that's right. There's another thing. Oh, look here, boys and girls. Here's the magic box. What do you suppose is inside the magic box today, boys and girls? Shall we open it? Let's open it up and find out. Oh, look! A card has fallen out. Let me see what's inside the card. This is a card that's written to me and my wife. And in the card, it says, Merry Chickmas! Oh, look at this. This is wonderful. This is a gift that has been given to my wife and I from our administrator, Sherry Haynes, here at the church. It says, when chicks grow up and become chickens, their eggs not only provide the ongoing supply of protein-rich meals, they can also help start a small business and generate a steady source of income. And so she's made a donation in our honor. But wait a minute, boys and girls, there's something else inside here. There is a box. What do you suppose is in the box, boys and girls? Should we take a look inside? Oh, there's paper. Isn't it nice to get a gift on Epiphany? We open it up carefully. Oh my goodness! Look at this, boys and girls. Oh my goodness me. How lovely is that? I'm going to have to bring that a little bit closer so you can see this. Sherry gave us an egg. And on the egg is a beautiful cross and flame. That's the United Methodist sign. And there's even a wreath around it. And she's making a donation so people can raise chickens and maybe, gather the eggs each day. I don't know if you know this, but Miss Sherry actually goes ahead and she raises chickens and she collects eggs. She's given me some of her eggs. They're very delicious. And so, boys and girls, this is a very nice thing. I didn't expect to get a gift inside the special box today. But that's what Epiphany is all about. It's giving and receiving gifts from those people around you. I hope that you can share a gift today with your family. And even if you don't have something to give somebody, you can still share your love with them. And most of all, you can remember that the most special gift of all is Jesus. And Jesus comes to us once again. And so, boys and girls, that's pretty much the end of chapel. How about if we go ahead and close out with a prayer? Will you pray with me? Dear God, thank you so much for the gift of Jesus. Help me to find ways to be like the wise men and share gifts with others. Amen. So, boys and girls, we'll go ahead and like we do every time we have chapel, we'll turn the candles off. 1 and 2. Thank you so much for joining us today, boys and girls, in Preschool Chapel. And most of all, I wish you a happy new year. I pray that you'll be safe, that you'll be kind, and you'll continue to love one another. And most of all, we'll look forward to the time that we get to come back here. It may be a little while, but that's okay. For now, we'll still meet this way. God bless you all. Bye.